Yeah, yeah. I require a 9-hour pre-interview for every do. I want everything you're gonna touch on. Everything.
Is now like, oh, welcome to the podcast, Glenn Wool. Well, fantastic. Thank you very, very much for coming on board, dude.
No problem. No problem.
I'm so like, got to meet you in the Laughter Lounge a couple of weeks back, and we met again in Galway, and your hair growth is just astoundingly good. Like, fantastic. My God, man, you're staggeringly good looking, man.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. My wife doesn't like me combing it like this. She wants she's a millennial.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She has no idea how cool this is. Like I feel like a spaceship commander. Like I could be the commander of a spaceship in a 1960s television program.
And I would gladly follow you into battle. Honestly, with that hair, my God.
You'd have to. She doesn't realize that in the 60s, if you had this haircut, people just had to listen to you. Like you could go up anywhere. Like I just everybody shut up now. Okay, I want you guys on the left side of the room and you guys on the right side of the room, and I'm gonna have a coffee and just sort of think about this. Where am I? What? Who are you? Who? It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
You wonder why people got how people got, so high up in the stock market and banking and stuff back in the day. It's like literally they showed up with great hair, like great hairstyle flicked off to the side. Look, and that's you've just revealed exactly how it happened.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of the stock market crashes happened when just some really good barbers moved into New York. they just, a couple of guys got haircuts they shouldn't have had.
Irresponsible haircuts.
Yeah. Yeah, the guy, yeah. There was a brief time in the 70s you had to apply for this haircut. You couldn't just have it. There's too much power.
I knew this was going to be a fun podcast. The silliness, because even the time that the brief bit we got to chat in the Laugh Lounge afterwards with Alison, like there was a moment, I don't know if you said it, if Alison said it, but we were all getting pretty weird, and we were doubling down on your story about being weird with geese and stuff like that, and swans, and I don't know, it was you or Alison went, isn't it great to be able to talk comedian? Just be three dark weirdos all just talking weird shit.
Yeah, well, that's the way it used to be in green rooms. But I mean, I was always aware you had to check, like, not everybody has that sense of humor. But I would just start off. I'd come in, and there'd be a few comments. I'd just go, so everybody here speaks comic, right? And that's all you had to do. You never. If people didn't, if you couldn't figure out what was coming next was going to be a bit dark, then. Yeah, but that's all changed now too, because sometimes you can see people waiting to try and get the story, so you did. Yeah, I don't know, green rooms are a bit different than they used to be, and sadly for it, because I truly believe comedians are a race, like it's got nothing to do with how you look or gender or anything, but comics are a certain kind of person, at least.
I did, yeah. I'm 100% behind that. I actually tried to, well, it wasn't an argument, but I was trying to impose that on somebody before. And another comedian going, no, honestly, I think there's something, if we were smarter people, we could probably find it out in a lab, what is missing or what is additional in our brains or in our DNA that makes us fucking darkly weird and weirdly dark,
Yeah, it's something missing. It's an emotion we don't share with them. It's a very odd reaction, but I think what it comes from is when the dark times come, you'd rather be able to see what's funny about it than just wallow in it.
Yes. Yeah.
And the thing is, if you don't keep that tool sharp all the time, then when an actual dark thing comes up, you're not,
Oh, I know, my giddiness when the two of you and all three of us, this natural trifecta of people just being weird and dark with each other for a couple of minutes. It was like,
I know, and because we've all been stuck
Yeah.
in our houses for so long that I'm lucky. I married a woman with a dark sense of humor, so
Good.
I
Yeah.
I I am worried though that at the end of my life they're going to show me the camera that's been in my television, and they're gonna show the world exactly what I'm like. Like not the Instagram Glenn, but
Watching TV, Glenn, is a different
yeah,
thing.
the
Yeah.
director's commentary. Yeah. Went from a state funeral to they just threw him in a ditch. Let pigs eat them, and then they killed the pigs. They didn't want them entering into the food chain. So they killed and incinerated those pigs. So don't go outside when their ashes come down, because we don't want anything to do with this man anymore.
But he smells delicious in the air,
Yeah.
unfortunately. Yeah, it's like the downfall of Tiger King. He was going so good for so long, and then now everybody's just shitting all over him.
I know.
He just got a little weird with the animals and possibly tried to kill a woman. What? Who hasn't?
Exactly. It's like you said in your bit, the crystal meth is
It's delicious. It's fucking delicious. It's gotta be fucking delicious.
It's not anything you want to sprinkle onto ideas. I've been kicking something around in my head. Hold on. I'm gonna just think it through.
That is a great phrase. Crystal
I
meth.
got an idea.
Delicious, but not something to sprinkle on ideas.
No.
It's like we were driving through a town that I actually went to school in, and it's a gray place. It's gray. It's all the time gray. And my wife, who grew up in a very lovely kind of an area, we were driving through it. A normal person would say things, oh God, but she came out with a phrase I've never heard her say. She went, "It would not inspire happiness." And that's where we'll leave it. Just like it was this fucking 17th century. She said it. It was like, yeah, that's one way of going, not saying it's a shithole. Yeah.
Yeah. You said it all. You said it all with 4 words. Yeah. She got it. She got it in 4. I took my wife to Canada, to where I went to high school, it was a rough part of town when I lived there, but it's gotten a lot worse.
I'm full sure you're going to say but it's gotten really hipster. But
no.
Yeah, samees.
Yeah, I think they started eating the hipsters. I think they sticked around for a bit, but and there would because I had a really nice condominium in a really bad section of town, but it was high up, so you could hear the gunshots, but they didn't, they'd have to be shooting into the air. But so you and it's a beautiful view of the mountains and some incredible sunsets, but then you'd go out in the day and you'd have to get through these fucking zombies. Like they were terrible. It was fun. It always escalated. Like when we were driving from the airport to show her, like, we're going to live in Canada for a year. It's going to show her the condo. I'm really hoping it all works well. There was a guy waiting for a bus, but he must have been an acrobat, because there's no, you can't stand like this. He had his bum in the air, but he'd folded himself in 2, like a folding chair. And he was trying to hail the bus with his bum. And and he's just he's sort of sitting there. He's standing and sitting at the same time, waiting for a bus. And I'm just like, oh, the place is called Surrey too. And I'm like, oh, fucking Surrey, come on. We're trying to get this woman to live. And she's like, is there a folded man? Yes, there's a folded. Okay, I saw it too. There's a folded guy. and he wants a bus. That's all I know. Little did I know that was going to be like the best weird time, because we're going, and then that settled down for a month, and she's starting to, we got a pool in the building. The kid loves it, and we're having fun. We're starting to go on the road a bit, and it's going good. I took her to the mall, and this happened in one exchange, but these people didn't know each other. 3 people are walking out of the mall, and one guy says to the other one, and goes, "You remember that green heroin?" And he's like, "Yeah." He goes, "That was me. I was the one who did the green heroin." He was a heroin dealer who was very happy that I don't know if it was for St. Patrick's Day or but he managed to make the heroin green for for however long. So, and I hear them, but I hope she hasn't heard them, and she's just like, green. I know, I know, who knows why he did it. And as we hit the entrance to the mall, a guy rides by on his bicycle, which shouldn't be a shocking story until I tell you he was backwards on it. Like he was like working looking over his shoulder. He rode by on a bicycle backwards. Like, not the bike wasn't going backwards, the bike was going forwards, but he was sat on it backwards, doing the pedals and looking at us like, what of it? What? I was like, you've taken too much green heroin, sir.
Yeah, that might be the coolest man that ever fucking lived right there, in all fairness. Like, I mean, try doing that shit.
Yeah, but it wasn't like he wasn't doing tricks in the parking lot. He was just like, on his way, I'm going to the mall. Yeah.
Yeah, you put all those experiences in a bag. I can see why your missus probably didn't want to hang around in Canada too much longer. No. Yeah.
Canada dropped the ball. And now I'm in the one, and then this could have really taken a turn. It's not even really something to bring up in a comedy podcast, but she was crossing a road like at a what do you call it?
Zebra.
Crosswalk,
Yeah.
like a zebra crossing. Yeah, and she'd press the button, and the bike, 2 fucking gangster rappers, white gangster rappers, like
white Canadian gangster rappers.
Yeah, from the hood. And to be fair, like, Surrey is such a shitty part of town. It's like, well, yeah, you probably you are from yeah, technically you're from downtown Detroit.
You have all the credentials, sir.
This is as bad as Detroit. This is worse than Detroit. I've been to Detroit. I like Detroit. But they waved her, like, she had my child in the pram, and they said like, oh, and she was like, because they'd stopped like a really long way away from the stop. So she was like, and she, in her head, she's like, you see, people are good. And as soon as she got in the middle, no, they fucking gunned the thing and tried to run her over. She had to push
what the fuck?
Away. Yeah, that's what they do for fun. That's and they, like, she jumped over the hood, and like all the other cars were like honking, and nobody got a fucking license plate though. And it did, to be fair, the police did, because I said I was on the road at the time. I said, well, you could call the police and at least tell them. And and this is a police force. Like, I think there's a methadone clinic where they were coming out of, so they could have caught them if they'd looked into it.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, like the cop came and he's like, well, no, what do you want me to do?
Like, yeah, how about being a cop?
Yeah, and like, this isn't even like the bad part of the job. This is why you get into being a cop. People are trying to run other people down. People tried to run a mother and a child down, surely, but But they have a problem in Surrey, at least. Like cops won't go to like gunshots if they've got a family or something. They're like, I don't want to go. Like I've got a family. These people are shitheads. I don't
Fucking hell.
want to get shot for them.
I mean, to think that, you know, when you hear cops going, well, what do you want? It happens. You know, it like that's mental that would be a thing that they could say. It happens. Yeah, it's a thing. You know what I mean? Just mind your business next time you're walking. You know, just say it. Just keep one. You know, keep your head on the swivel, lady. Like these are fun.
Like I remember when I was, because when I first bought the condo, I hadn't been to Surrey in a long time, but it was like I'd come from Europe, and I was walking on the sidewalk because I hadn't bought my car yet. So just I had to walk around for a bit just till I got a car, and there was like in Europe, if they're doing work on the sidewalk, like they close it off,
Yeah.
and there's an alternative route. In Surrey, where nobody gives a fuck, this guy had like a big metal sheet on like with chains, and he was moving it with with like a digger. Nobody else, he's just doing it on his own, and he swung it like I had to like go like this on the sidewalk, and he went like, hey. Get out of it. Use the other side, you fucking dickhead. All right.
I mean, there's almost it's almost quite liberating that Wild West shit degree. You're kind of going, well, you know, they don't get hung up on health and safety around here. You know,
Yeah.
it's kind of liberating in one way, but once you start, you know, you got a family to enter them. It's like we moved back to the countryside, and I mean, you would say zero crime around here, bar. If there is a crime, it's fucking huge. Somebody's gotten murdered. You know, that's when it happened. You know, but we were in the house the other night, and a guy in a field the other night, he was shooting real close to the house. Shooting gun was. I was going, what the fuck? You can't be shooting after dark, motherfucker. And my wife is like, geez, you know, she's from Dublin, so she's having a bit of a freak attack because it's like the gun. And literally, I stood outside, and in between shots, I was like, hey. My countryness came back to me. You could hear your man going, yeah. I went, knock it the fuck off, will you? He's like, yeah, sorry. That was it. That was it for the rest of the fucking day. Liberal, but at the same time, you know, you can have a word with a man with a gun. You know, he was trying to shoot guinea fowl, and he'd seen a couple of them, and he just, you know, but I was like, what the fuck are you doing, dickhead? He's like, yeah, my bad, mea culpa.
Yeah.
You know? You know? Like, okay, all right. When it goes down, it goes down. But there was that collision of worlds between my wife going, we're definitely all going to be murdered in our sleep. I'm like, no, I think just I immediately got into the mind of a dipshit with a gun who didn't really realize there might be society around him, you know. And,
Yeah.
and that's exactly what he was. He was like, oh, fuck, sorry.
Well, I live deep enough in the, like, it's a town, but it's in the countryside, and there's a bird sanctuary sort of just over my backyard. So it's really, it gets country pretty quick.
Yeah.
And but that, like in England, that just means that attracts dickheads. Like,
Yeah.
you know, are we gonna chase a fox to death, or just shoot into the air? Like, don't you have any like nice hobbies?
I know.
Yeah, and this was a few months ago. I don't know if you heard about it in Ireland, but a guy walked through downtown Torquay, I think, with a shotgun, and then took out a family, and
Yes.
yeah. It was really depressing news, and it was so sad. It was all over the news. Didn't stop the fucking shooting club
No.
that meets every, like, it's happened on a Saturday. On Sunday, they're out in the back, boom, boom, just blasting shotguns. It was like you wouldn't take a day off from it. No?
Maybe. Touch of respect, lads. Yeah, you're never going to start, especially in the UK. Sure, I mean, the majority of guys that even hunt around here and stuff, they can't get hunting licenses anymore. It stopped more or less because the established, I suppose, trackers that are here that have tracking companies, they're just bringing in British lads who are paying 5,000-6,000 a time to just shoot the odd deer or the odd whatever. And they do need, I mean, fortunately or unfortunately, whatever way you fall on either side of the argument, they do need to, because right now, because licenses aren't being granted, I mean, there are 3 within a 1 mile radius of here that have been hit by trucks on the fucking road, like, because there are just too many of them, you know, and but all the licenses now are being given as temporary licenses to English guys coming over who just have too much money. Be lovely to shoot an island for the weekend, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, this is what you do. You get a deer farm and you take the guy to the same spot and the deer gets released and he just, yeah, he doesn't know that he's basically shot a tame deer. It's like your fucking dolphins in the Ring of Kerry.
Yeah.
Whatever fungi the dolphin. Now there's 19 of them. And like, yeah, who knows where they came from? Yeah, who knows where the tourist attraction came from and why there was one and now there's fucking tons of them. Yeah, they're all fungi. They're all
They've been trying to hop on anything now because fungi, you see, because it happened during COVID, they didn't get a new one in time, so too long passed. Now, I mean, if fungi rocked up now, you go, that one's got a mustache. I don't buy it, you know. But anything, any fucking walrus, anything that shows up now, they're like, oh, it's Andrew the walrus. He's surely got, and you're like, no, no, guys, no. It's not happening. It's done. It's done. Knocking on the head. Dingle, you are finished. Unfortunately, when it comes to fucking, aquatic mammals, I'm afraid. Pack it in.
I mean, I went there for a little holiday once, and yeah, they heard my accent, and I was dressed quite North American at the time.
What's oh, you wearing white trainers and jeans?
Maybe on vacation.
Yeah, of course.
But I went into a country pub, and of course you're there, you want a Guinness, and I said, Judge, just a pint of Guinness, boys, like that. And they got one from like it didn't even pour it in front of me. They're like, oh, well, here's one for you. And it was like they'd been cleaning the lines or something. They were just
bastards.
Yeah. I took one sip. I'm like, I think you've given me the wrong one. They're like, oh, have we now? Okay.
Yeah, I mean their whole trade and the likes of down there. That's all it is. And it's odd that you would end up getting a dodgy one, because we live in a very castellated area around here. There's a lot of castles and towns around here. So, but they will bend over backwards if they hear a North American accent. Literally, I'll get pushed in the hey, hello, welcome. They all of a sudden they turn diddly eye. You're like, what the fuck? The fuck is this?
Yeah. Oh, to be sure.
Yeah, to be sure. Start singing, just quoting proverbs that you read on postcards from the 50s, like "'Tis a long road that rose up my mother's back." Yeah. Okay.
As my great uncle Seamus always said, may the force be with you.
Hey, you got a tweet. Do you know, I remember this got me very excited. You got a tweet from Mark Hamill as you said that.
I did. Oh,
but your child looked beyond adorable. Like you had her as Leia, was it?
Yeah. We bought a Princess Leia outfit, and my wife, I think, just tweeted it out, and she said, "Oh, could you retweet it?" Because she likes it when little pictures of the baby get. And I was like, "All right, just for you." And then because it's a Star Wars tweet, I think she tagged Star Wars onto it too. So. It went mental. It went really deep into Argentina.
What?
Well, there's a weird thing with Argentina in my Twitter account, because the guy from Keene, Tom Chaplin, he's a fan of mine. He saw a show once and he really dug it. So he sometimes retweets my stuff, and apparently Keene are giant in Argentina. Just one of those weird little, like, weird things. So yeah, I don't know if because there's a Argentinian I think they followed them because they followed me because they want to know him. So
Okay,
there was a
okay.
time when Argentinians were retweeting a lot of my stuff in like, "Hey Tom," hey, or,
I heard a
uh,
very interesting thing about am I coming back? Oh no, it stopped. No, what was happening there? I was rehearing myself in my headphones. But Argentinians, by all accounts, they love going to therapy, like way more like than you'd hear Americans talking about it and stuff. But it's literally as normal as popping in for a pint. It's like, listen, just finish work there. I'm just going to pop in to go to a therapist. Like there's a more therapist per square inch in Argentina than anywhere else in the world, and it's just a normal thing. Like I'm gonna pop in. I was like, interesting, forward thinking way of going about it. Like,
well, I don't. Yeah, I think therapy has boomed because of the death of the pub. Like,
yeah,
people. That's where you used to go. You had a problem, and then you sat down and you told your mates, and they made fun of you about an hour. You had a couple of drinks, and you're like, "Yeah, okay, it's not something I need to stare at the roof every day over, when I'm trying to sleep." But yeah, I think a lot of the pubs were doing a lot of things for society that they overlooked when they sort of, I'm controversial. I think you should still be allowed to smoke in a pub, like,
yeah.
just fucking, because they stink if you don't. Like, it's just old guy farts if that's what you prefer.
But I remember just before the smoking ban came in, I was living in Cork at the time, and this bar, I don't know where they must have gotten this extracting technology from, but they spent tens of thousands on this thing that was above the bar. You didn't even really notice it, but it was above the bar in this bulkhead. But I remember being smoking, and literally the smoke just nicely, just straight up, and all of a sudden this fucking ban came in. But people were loving it because they're like, oh, it smells clean, but you get a hint of the old smell of a cigarette. It was like, if it was like a bar was supposed to be, then all of a sudden, as you said, now all you smell is smelly people and old guys fucking dropping bombs. Like, there was
Maybe that pub could like make it a stinky section. Maybe don't tell them what's going on, but we've got one right at the bar for you.
Yeah, don't. Well, yeah, I mean, now there's, yeah. Well, if you're gonna have, this could be the next thing. We could have the farting section. The smoking section of a bar. We just have the farting section. Just guys just standing out there, just pretty much shitting in pants. Just, hey, what's up?
You had the burrito too. Yeah.
But that's the silly. Just moments before I came on, for some reason I found, you just find yourself glazing over. I'm watching like old salad finger videos, like just going, well, I'm weird for, oh no, now Glenn, right, great. But there's there's a beautiful silliness to your style of comedy. Where do you think, did that come from? Just the mad bastards you grew up around? Was it the family? Well, like, there's it is like, it's like a warm hug, the loveliness that I find my brain slipping into your brain almost like from 50 feet away going, oh yeah, that's the shit now. Yeah, that's the shit. But clearly, so do a lot of the audience. The audiences do too. Where do you think the beautiful silliness comes from?
Yeah, I think it's family. Like, that's where it starts. So that would be, my all of them. Just family dinners
Trying to
and
outdo each other.
what? Yeah, it was more like, it wasn't that kind of outdo. It was like stories that would stack, and then somebody would notice something and chip in. But yeah, I don't think there's any one family member that would have influenced me more. But yeah, it's funny though, they're all funny in different ways too.
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
yeah, so I think I incorporate a lot of my family comes out when I do my stuff, and
Oh, it's
I
beautiful. Like I said, it's just like a warm hug. And I love, like, there was on a night in the Laughter Lounge, there was a group of girls, and you could tell one of them in particular, I was talking with her afterwards, and she loved you, but she admitted that she confirmed what I was thinking. She goes, I was 10 seconds behind that man, like literally all the time, because I'm like, huh? Jesus, oh, you know when the wheel is going too fast for you, and you're like, "Oh, fucking come back!" No, 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 say that again. Like she said, she goes, I was 10 seconds behind everything. She goes, I felt like an idiot because all my friends were in tune with him, but I couldn't get on the hamster wheel fast enough with Glenn.
Yeah, that was a case that night. That happened a bit. I had to slow down a bit. I found, but I think sometimes that's the accent too. If you're not ready,
Yeah,
it's tuning into just the beats and the cadence. And I don't have um I don't have a an obvious accent because I've
yeah,
been
yeah,
in so
yeah.
many places. So a lot of the times people get just go, wait a second, but he, he's from Canada. But I've often some people think I've got a slightly Irish accent,
Yeah,
which
I can definitely hear that. Whatever amalgamation now you've had that has happened, I can definitely hear an Irish accent in it.
yeah. Well, I traveled my last girlfriend before my wife, she was Irish, so and we traveled extensively together for 3 years, kind of like so together every day,
Yeah.
you know, and a lot of my mates are Irish too, so
Oh, they'll do that. They'll rub off on you. They'll just
they
and be delighted they rub off on you too. Just go, did I leave a bit of me on Glenn? Did I? Lovely.
yeah. Well, it's funny too because like some of them are they live here in England, but they're comics, so when we're just hanging out, they're actually their accents have softened to they're not English accents, but
Yeah.
they sound a bit more American. Probably because they're hanging out with me too. But when they go back on stage or they're on TV, then their Irish accents come
Oh
out.
yeah. Oh yeah, because they know where the money is. That fucking Irish
Well,
accent. They
yeah,
know where the money is.
I don't think it's anything as calculated as that. I think like you whatever accent you have when you started, or when you started having success, you'll sort of bank back into it because like that's how you deliver it. So, but they definitely do have softer accents when they're off stage, and then their kids all have English accents, and you can see that. That's
Yeah.
just every once in a while, she's like,
Jesus Christ.
Daddy, I need to ask something about the grandfather in Ireland.
I know. Have you met Chris Kent?
Oh yeah,
You would have, yeah. And Chris has moved back to Cork, and it was like his two kids, and I was like, so was it just purely to change the act? He goes, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh Jesus, but oh Jesus, we can't keep that up. No. We'll have enough of that. Thank you very much. So he's just been keeping him in heavy training, and he like moved him back to Cork and everywhere. The accent is extremely strong, just so he can just knock some of that out of him. Start pronouncing your R's, please.
yeah. Well, my manager, he's from London, but his wife's from Liverpool, and they bought a place in the world right before lockdown, and he spent all of lockdown fixing up the place. And then the region, like, or the world, it's gone insane. It's the best. It's the hottest.
Is it?
Yeah, the hottest property you can get right now, and he's fixed it all up. It looks fantastic. And I was like, great, you good, you're set. And he's like, no, when it reaches this price, we're selling. And I was like, what are you talking about? You got the key. He's like, it's the accent, man.
I know. It's
because they got a little baby, and he's like, no.
I
him somewhere else.
I absolutely get that. 100% I get that. It's like, come on in, Chachi. But no. I remember I lost my passport in Liverpool, and I had to get the boat home. So the boat wasn't from I think it was like 10 or 12 hours of wait. So they went, well, you go over to the Wirral. I was like, I can go to the what? Just go over to the Wirral and hang out for. Oh, this is fucking dreadful. And it was a miserable bit day. And I remember just sitting in this Weatherspoons, which are not the happiest place, but it was the only thing. It was around Christmas, the only thing open. I remember just sitting there and go, and they will come down, and after a while, I read the same newspaper like 3 times just so she wouldn't come over to me. Because it was like that fucking accent. I'm hungover. I'm sitting here in this cold park where you don't turn up the television and all that's on it is cricket anyway. Oh, no, thank you. You could be a 10 in the world and you're a 3 everywhere else as soon as you speak. That's no.
I like like I really like Liverpool and I like doing shows there.
Oh yeah.
I just don't understand how that accent happened because I would say it's a mixture of English and Irish. But
Yeah.
I don't see, like, I don't go, oh, I hear the Irish there and the English. It's just gone into like and it seems to have only started, like, you listen to the Beatles didn't talk like that. Like, I don't know what happened. They fell off their bicycle at some point.
They were cycling fucking backwards. That's what happened. The green heroin. That's what fucking happened.
Careful of the green heroin. That is what's happened to Liverpool, and it's coming to it, you know, sweeping across the nation. Backwards on a bike.
I really want to try cycling backwards. I'm going to do it out in the lawn so I don't kill myself. Like, I really want to try it. I'll send you a video if it works.
Yeah. I
love how you're like, there is no words, Tom. I can only tell you what I saw.
Yeah, I know it sounds like a fake story, and when I tell people, like, you have to be really clear because it acts like I think you can ride a bicycle backwards. I'm like, no, he wasn't riding a bicycle backwards. That doesn't work. That's insane. No, he sat on it backwards. That's like, well, why did he do that?
You can only assume he was trying to be super cool. In his head, he was trying to be super cool. Like,
no,
that's even fucking sadder.
Like, I don't know. Like, I really don't know. Yeah, there was like, yeah, even the quizzical looks of people was causing him, like, excuse me, I'm trying to go to my thing here. I'm trying to get to work. Would you please stop knocking at me? I'm late and I'm trying to show up earlier.
Did I hear that once that you were going to do a gig on Everest, or did I dream that?
I didn't do it in the end. There was talk of it, but yeah, I was I couldn't make it in the end. But my friend Mickey D and Martin Moore, they did it. I think Dave Fulton also. Yes.
Yeah,
no, you did dream it. I didn't do it.
I don't know why. Like, I knew Mark Moore was into hiking and stuff like that, all right, but I didn't. I for some reason I had it in my head. But there must be, like, is there any place you haven't gigged at this stage? I would imagine you've been everywhere.
Oddly, I've never been to Argentina. Although I have quite a fan base there. Yeah, South and Central America. I have not been to Mexico. Did some gigs in Cancun, but
and who do you get in Cancun then? Is it like, are you getting Mexicans or is it mostly North Americans that are?
No, it was mostly North Americans. Yeah, it was really odd. It was a comedy festival put on by my record label in America, or the record label I'm signed with. I don't have one, but they put on a comedy fest. They've all got houses down. They winter there because they're from Minnesota.
Oh, say no more.
Yeah. But the little like, there's like it's almost like a little American road in Mexico, because there's big gates and security guards on it, and then you go down and there's all these huge houses. And one of the guys who used to live on the street used to do the stages for the Grateful Dead.
Wow.
So he made this stage and it's like it's just like a little bar, but then it's got this it's an Aztec themed stage.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, oh, it was really cool. I was like, you don't need this for comedy.
No, that's the it's always embarrassing, isn't it, when you go, so how much? Oh, I got rang by a theater.
Well, when you go on stage and the DJ is gonna fucking play for and the dry ice is gonna, I'm like, well, that's just, it's gonna be weird for the first 30 seconds. As I'm, okay, here we go. We're gonna make some jokes now. Yeah. But it was a very nice memory to be doing gigs in Mexico on a stage made by the Grateful Dead. I think the Grateful Dead had used it or some, and Michael Jackson had been on it for some reason.
No way.
Do you know what? I was really drunk in These could be many stories mixing into one. And then anybody watching this who was actually at the festival, like, there's no stage for
it was a pallet. It was a pallet.
Yeah. That yeah, you got to be careful with that cactus juice, Glenn, because some of it's pretty.
Because that is there's a funny kind of embarrassment comes over me when you, like, you know, they ask you, what would you like? I got rang by a theater. I was doing a gig about 3 weeks ago, and the guy rang me at like 5 a.m. or 5 p.m. that day. He's like, so the mic set up, Tom, and he's just started reeling off all these words that they meant nothing to me, Glenn. Like, they meant like nothing to me at all. And all I could say to him was, thank you. But no, I need, I don't know what to tell you. Even if the mic wasn't working, I'd shout. I really would. It's that simple, you know. It would be great. So jokingly, I went, well, if there would be great if there was some chocolate in the dressing room. And he immediately went out, and actually, I was joking. I thought, and he went 5 different types of chocolate bars. I'm like, what? Don't do this, because now I have to be nice, like, great, like, we're fucking weirdos. Please just let me just walk straight to the microphone and just say no more, please.
I concur totally, and I feel guilty because I've been a comedian now for 28 years, and that's 28 years of at least seeing a soundboard every day that I go to work. Like, in some respect, I have no idea what any of the little buttons or knobs do. I know some of them you need to push up and some of them go rip, but I have no, and I was thinking about this the other day, like if the sound guy ever got sick or something, you'd think that, like, I would be like, oh, I kind of know the basic. No clue. No, I don't know. But and again, it's just, I'll shout. If it don't work, I'll shout. But I actually because I do shout a lot. I had a friend of mine. He's a sound guy in Alaska, of all places. Greg Shaley. He now he does Doug Stanhope's merch now and road manager. But he was a road manager for Mitch Hedberg, obviously when he was still alive. But he said he very astutely, when he saw my delivery, he's like, you've been playing bad sound rooms, haven't you?
That's amazing that he was able to tell.
Yeah. He's like, you developed a style where it's the ambient, you just need the ambient of the mic, and anything else, you'll just fucking power it. Yeah, it just came from playing bars rather than theaters. Because I get into theaters and they're like, why is he? You don't have to, just it's fine.
Yeah, this place is set up for you. No, you don't have to shout over the bar taps. It's fine. It's fine. It's grand. You know, but that's really interesting that you need to tone it down a little bit. Or yeah. Well,
just. Yeah, it was astute, and now I'm better with the yelling. I used to yell all the time with just little bursts of quiet to make a point. Now I can just one word only has to. You don't have to, not every word.
Are you a good singer though? Because you got a great voice. I'd imagine you're a good singer.
No,
Are you not?
terrible, terrible. But my voice is constantly in a different, like it'll get damaged, and then it's got to get back to square one.
Right.
You know, so I can't be sure I'm going to sing the same note every time.
Who's showing up tonight? Glenn? Oh, well, we hope. We hope. Be Glenda. Could be Glenda. We don't know. He's transitioning now in his throat. It's
Just the throat, though. That's the moneymaker.
For the audio listeners, right? That look that Glenn just gave me, was like, it was quite salubrious. That's what all I'll tell you. It's quite salubrious. Now, prior to this course, you had due diligence. You have to look up, and I was like, "What?" Because I follow you on everything anyway. But I was like, and it was Wikipedia. Was your dad Estonian?
Yes, he is. He is Estonian. He's still with us. But,
No, yeah, was he? And in no mind, I was like, was he? Because you give up your Estonia when you move to North America. Because
you wouldn't know it. You wouldn't know he's Estonian. He speaks like he was a refugee, so he came to Canada when he was 5. But he spoke Estonian with my grandparents and my uncle growing up.
Yeah.
So he does speak Estonian, but when he went back there, he dresses like a cowboy all the time. That's just something he does. He likes to do that. Like cowboy suits and stuff and the big steps.
Okay, right. Not just checkered shirt and a pair of jeans.
No,
like full JR.
Yeah.
Nice.
You know what? He dresses a lot like J.R. Ewing.
Nice.
And he went back to Estonia and he was talking to people and they were like, what the fuck is going on? Because he speaks 1940s dialect of Estonian. So it's like J.R. Ewing has walked up to them and like, hey, dame, you know.
That is, you couldn't write that into a script. Okay, so what we're going to need is, you couldn't, like, because that is the most incredible combo you could think of walking down. Like, but I also love the notion that he'd meet some old school Estonian person and go, "It's Yankee Man. This is exactly what Yankee Men look like." You know, it's like, that's exactly what you should look like coming back from America. Shooting guns in the air, big cowboy hat on.
Yeah. It never fails to, like, anytime he speaks to someone in Estonia, if they don't know him, they're just like, what? Like any waitress calling people, just say it again. Yeah. Yes.
And you're getting back. You're getting back busy again anyway? Thank God.
Fuck yeah. Do you know what? In December, and this pretty much assures me in my head that there'll be another lockdown, but I am fucking chocked to the gills with Christmas gigs, but they're all in Sheffield. I have, I believe, 13 gigs in Sheffield. Whatever. I'll just go. If Sheffield wants it, Sheffield's gonna get it.
I think that's where Sean Bean is from. They're all for Sean Bean.
Yes. They'll have to forget about him because there's a new big daddy in town.
Because that's the thing. They're bringing in a thing tonight as we speak. They're bringing in a thing tonight that no bars and nightclubs now can open beyond 12 o'clock. They're brought it in. We're like, well, how does that make any sense at all? So what's happening is all the Christmas gigs we had booked. Well, they'll switch probably to virtual or whatever, but oh Lord, it's now all of a sudden it's pulled the rug from underneath that. It doesn't make any sense. I know you're trying.
Does that mean you can still be traveling home from the gigs at midnight, or you got to be in your bed? Or?
No, it's not a lockdown. They're just saying any venues, any bars, venues, nightclubs, they have to be shut by 12 because they're figuring, I don't know, COVID only comes out after 12. I don't know. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah, it's like they're preparing for a gremlin attack.
Yeah, yeah. Don't feed them. Do not fucking feed them. It's the most bizarre thing. So a lot of Christmas gigs have been pulled because companies wanted to be out for the night. And
right.
but also like it's so not going to work, especially here in the rural South Tipperary. You think you're going to get a gang of fucking hillbillies to get out of the bar at 12 o'clock? No. You might at 10, you might when they're in semi-sober, but by 12, they've got the hammer down till fucking 2 o'clock. You ain't getting them big old fuckers out of, not a hope.
They've been practicing for this lock-in all their lives.
Pretty much. This is game day. You're not getting them out.
Guys, we need to drink quietly for the next 3 hours. Okay, well, we'll do it because we're not going home.
Start smoking, boys, because we're locked in.
It'll be like the Diary of Anne Frank. Quietly, like nitroglycerin, just.
And you are going back on tour. You're going back on tour.
Yes, that's the big news.
Yes.
I thought about it though. I don't have the Irish leg booked yet. So just remember this moment.
Absolutely. Well, I'll read when you do announce the Irish tour. I'll say at the intro to whatever podcast is out at the time. Like, but
yeah, and that'll probably be in the spring, which will be, but because that's the other thing about these tours is you put them in, but who knows?
Well, if nothing else, go to Glenn's website because it's like, who did that picture of you on the landing page where you're just like this Beetlejuice looking Glenn? It's beautiful.
Oh, do you know who did that? A man named Derek Riggs, who you won't know his name, but you will definitely know his most famous cartoon, which was Eddie from Iron Maiden.
No way. Okay, that is ridiculously cool.
I know, and Dan Schlissel, the guy, my record label guy in America, the Minnesota guy. He was the one who facilitated that, and he told me, he's like, "Don't get excited, but I've reached out to Derek Riggs about doing the next album cover," and I was like, "Fuck yeah!" And then I got an email directly from Derek Riggs going, "Hey man, really excited to work for you. Is it okay if I make you a zombie instead of a skeleton? Because I don't want you to look too much like Eddie." And I was like, "Yeah, that's cool. That's cool, man. That's cool."
yeah, you're
my close personal friend, Derek Riggs. Yeah. Good, well spotted. I was gonna say it too, because we're like brothers. We're so close.
I love it. That's like rarely I would look at a thing and go, because I just wear plain t-shirts. Being a fucking comic, I've absolutely no style or whatever, so I just wear black t-shirts all the fucking time. Like the two of us are literally sitting looking at each other, hairy faced and wearing black t-shirts.
Well, no, no, but don't worry, Ireland. Wait, Colombia.
Oh, that was so theatrical.
I planned it, but no. And again, it's not the best comedy. British Columbia right now is very. It's in trouble. It's getting really walloped over some storms. There's mudslides have cut out all of the highways to Vancouver, so the rest of BC, although not experiencing the deluge that Vancouver did, is cut off. So they're waiting. I talked to my mom. She lives in northern BC. She says the grocery stores are totally empty, like and gone. But I mean, these are rural people, so everybody's got a freezer full of stuff. See, it's not as stark as it is if in Vancouver, there's people that got small fridges and living in tiny things, some people in Surrey that you probably wouldn't even notice. You'd have to, once if the guy ever ran out of green heroin, that would be their Armageddon. But if there's green heroin, you got enough. You can live off that. You can't.
You're not going to get fat. Don't worry, but it's enough to get you. It's enough to get you through.
Yeah. Green heroin and a Shamrock shake, and you'll be fine until. But so my mom, I was talking to her because I saw the footage on the news. I was like, geez, are you guys gonna be okay? And she was, because my brother lives in Edmonton. I told her, like, why don't, because if that road's open, just go to Edmonton and wait it out. Because you don't like to think about your parents beside an empty grocery store, regardless of the outcomes. But she was saying, well, I'm going there anyway because this was planned beforehand. But my brother, he's him and his wife, my mom's gonna go take care of their teenage kid, because, and keep in mind, my brother is from British Columbia, and he just lives in Edmonton now, but he's watched the whole, like, the over the summer. There's been terrible forest fires, and now there's floods, and all the roads are out, and there's no way of denying that this is climate crisis. Like, it's been, he and his wife are still going to take the cruise. They're still they're still going on hands up, baby, hands up.
It's an all you can eat. It's an all you can eat, Glenn. For the love of Christ. What are we fucking animals?
We can't get a deposit back, so we're just going to take the cruise, and hopefully. But that's it. After that, that's it. No more.
Well, 2 more, and then that's it. That's it.
Yeah, a cruise ship. Well, yeah. So how did everyone? Nobody listened. Nobody watched the news. Nobody listened, and now we're all dead. But that happened in the north in Canada. The Northwest Passage.
Yes, yeah.
There were the two famous ships, the Terror and the Erebus, frozen in there, and there's a big there's a television program you could watch on the Terror. It's not exactly what happened, but it is, there's grains of truth in.
Yes.
And this place has been, just impenetrable. About 4 years ago, the ice up there melted to such a degree that you could sail through the Northwest Passage in the wintertime, I believe. And you never were able to do that before. And the Western world responded to that tidbit of information by putting a cruise ship through.
Guys, I'm only saying,
this is great. We got another route. Woo! More margaritas, John. Yeah, why not?
Fucking hell, man.
Bunch of Inuits standing on the shore going, they're gonna fucking kill us all, aren't they? Oh yeah. Surprised that hasn't happened yet.
Jesus Christ, like, there's no, like, when you see that, you're like, for the love of Christ. Do you know what? You deserve for the frost to come back immediately, freeze you all on the fucking thing, and nobody come to you.
It's like noticing a tumor and putting a little crown on it. Woo!
Smiley face on it.
That's not a bad sound. That's pretty.
Glenn Wolf, this has been an absolute treat. Anybody get on Glenn's website and keep an eye out for when he does come to Ireland. But they get a lot of listeners in the UK here on this one as well. So no doubt I will mention it anyway. When the release comes, I will
tell you, and you will tell the world. But it's looking more and more like the world will be over by then. But if we get a second season, and I don't think we will. What better way to mark the end of your life and our life and all our lives but a comedy show?
Oh, we said we lived in the darkness at the best of times anyway, so we are well prepped for the horror that's coming.
Yes.
Glenn Wool, you absolute legend. Thank you so much. Cheers, brother.
No problem. Thank you.